What is up, you guys? Happy Tuesday. How's everyone doing? Good? Can wiggle your arms and say, hey, pump it up, pump it up, pump it up. I was on a mastermind call today, and a coach, I think she finished in the top 20. I don't really follow that stuff, but anyway, okay, she did really well last year. And she was on the call and she said, yeah, I had a major hater yesterday, and it was my sister-in-law. And then I was like, I'm intrigued. And she said, so I'm going to send out 100 invites today because I love proving people wrong. And I was like, that's the mindset. That's it. That is why she is where she is. That is why what she's doing is what she's doing. I think it was Morgan Schaefer. She's like, man, I'm having more conversations than ever, but that means more no's. So it's really like working in my head a little bit. I'm like, you're right on track. Like, anyone who wants success in this, you got to go to that next level, and you're going to get rejection. So when Kate was saying my sister-in-law was a straight up hater to me, I'm going to go send out 100 invites. She doesn't usually send out 100 invites, but she's like, but I'm going to, because I'm going to prove her wrong, right? Goals for the month: Success Club and Emerald. If you're a brand new coach on this call, can you comment below, and we want to cheer you on. We won't unmute you and make you give a speech, but we're so glad you're here. You may not know what Success Club is. Please ask your sponsor. If you're wanting to build a business, I'm telling you, that is the way to go. Misty, you shared this today in the Coach Collab, much love to you, that if you have never hit Success Club, ever, in the month of February, starting now, you can become a success starter. Usually that's for brand new coaches who sign up. If you hit Success Club in your first 3 months, now maybe you've made it to Success Club 4. No, doesn't count. If you have never hit Success Club, which is SC 5, really 6, helping 3 people with a challenge pack each, and you do it for February, March, and April, you get a free summit ticket. That is amazing. So if you've never hit Success Club, make that your priority now. Another team goal that we have is going Emerald, or going Emerald again. You guys, this is the bread and butter. The team is the ultimate place to be. This is where the lifestyle sticks. This is where the mindset shifts. This is where the ultimate results, the total solution, the friendship, the freedom, everything, the opportunity, the potential is with the team. If I want to hang out with anyone, it's you guys, right? So going Emerald again and again and again and again is the bread and butter to building your business, but also friendship and community, which is awesome. You were my vision, and it had to start with me going Emerald, right? So what that means is you're helping 2 new people join as either a coach to self or a coach to others, doesn't matter. We're all about self-care no matter what. Join our community. And that's how you present it. So if you're brand new, Success Club and Emerald, if you do that, message me, because I will give you a virtual high five. We had an awesome month in January, and I just want to give you guys all a shout out for that. It was incredible. Like, it was just so fun. Not even just like Success Club wise or Emerald wise, just energy. I keep sharing this quote, is that January was a long year, and it made me laugh. But for those of you who just like took it and went with it and just showed up, whether that was with Transform 20, whether that was just getting on more coach calls, however you decided to show up in January and you did something different than December, rock on. Like, keep going that way, and just trust. It's those little things that you do that are going to make all the difference. It's the inches. So huge shout out to you. So Eric has an announcement. It's going to take 5 minutes, and then we're going to get into the meat of the call. You guys, he spent all day on this. He like presented this thing to me today, and I was like, whoa, how did you do that, first of all, in Excel? Like, he did all these like fancy things. So anyway, go ahead.
So the big announcement is, and you've kind of already hinted at this before.
I've talked about it, yeah.
And you've like breadcrumbed it. But the big announcement is we're going to Tahoe in September of 2019. Woo! And I just as I was like walking and doing this.
Not like we're going to Tahoe. Like,
yeah. We're going to Tahoe. But as I was walking around this morning, I was just like, man, I really think we like need to push for this, because Julianne had been talking to me about.
I like talk about it all the time.
Yeah, talking about it, and then talking about how we're like only 10 coaches away from 10-star. And
you guys, 10 coaches away. 10 coaches.
And I was like, we could do this.
And then I was nervous because he like wanted to book a place today, and I was like, well, what if we? And he's like, no, we're going to Tahoe.
We're going. So I mean, I had a lot of slides that I prepared to like share, but mainly the biggest thing is like, I guess I'll share details later.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is that in order to go to Tahoe, we need to be a 15-star team by May 2nd. So it's really on, and you guys, I love you, and I swear to you, we have the best people a part of this crew. My personally sponsored coaches, we need to get to 15-star. We're 10 coaches away from 10-star. So it's pretty insane. Like Brittany Burmeister is super close. And we have a couple that just need to get an active status back, and then we're there. Like, that is how close we are to 10-star. Then I just need 5 more PS coaches to go diamond by May 2nd. It's not that hard. Kristen McNeese helped 6 coaches get started last month. Like, that's almost diamond. And so it's just like, reach out to her. How did she do it, right? And then we have some other things. Like, if you're a lifetime diamond, you just need to be a paid diamond in July and August. And then for any coach on Happy and Fit, paid diamond for the first time by August
15th.
Yeah. So write that down. Any coach and team Happy and Fit, diamond by August 15th. And then what we're going to do is we're going to provide the space. We're going to provide a lot of the meals. We're going to provide transportation to Tahoe. The only thing you'll be in charge of is flying here, driving here, or whatever. It's cheap to fly into Oakland. We'll help you. He was looking at plane tickets. Like, he was like all over it today. And I've gone on diamond retreats, you guys, and this is my biggest dream, is to do it for Happy and Fit. And those were game changing for me. Like, it is so special. It is so wonderful. And Eric and I want to treat you. Like, we want to celebrate you. We want to have something that's super special to our team. And the reason Lake Tahoe is so special to me, I went to my PS coaches today, and they're like, what's speaking to your soul? Like, what is it? And I go, Lake Tahoe. And I think it's because when we decided to take the risk to move to California, the first place we drove into going into California was the mountains of Lake Tahoe. And I just remember looking around and being like, everything's going to be okay. Like, this is the most magical place I've ever seen. And I want you guys to experience that. So we're really, really excited. I hope you guys are excited. Write down diamond. Let's make it happen. This is wild. Team Happy and Fit has been around for 3 years now, and it's time that we do that. We've been coaching for almost 5. And so this is our vision, and we want you guys to be a part of it, and more details to come. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to be over here.
Yeah, okay. You all are wonderful. Thanks for hopping on. I love you guys. Thanks for your support. It's kind of scary. Like, it's scary, like, putting that out there, because, like, the what if, right? But you know what? I can either not put it out there, or I just put it out there. It doesn't really matter after that, right? Going for a goal, you experience the same fear. You experience the same setbacks, the doubt, the excitement, the happiness. Like, you guys, putting a goal out there should scare you. And when I put Elite out there for the first time, I didn't even know. I was like, what am I doing? Like, this is so crazy. And I think we just have to have the guts to go for it. We have to have the guts to put something out there, because people are so afraid of, like, what if you don't hit it? Or, this is like, no, like, if I'm going to feel fear, I might as well go for it then, if I'm going to feel it either way. So I seriously am so excited. Moving on, you'll definitely want to get a notebook and a pen. I'm really excited to share this with you. This is something that's been on my heart, something that maybe you've seen me talk about a little bit, is because I see so often coaches saying, I'm doing everything. I'm doing everything. I'm doing my tracker. I'm showing up. I am doing all the vital behaviors, but I'm just not moving. I'm not getting it. I'm not hitting Success Club. I'm not helping new coaches join our team. How many of you have been there? Like, you just feel like you're on a hamster wheel. You feel like you're doing it, but nothing is showing. Well, first and foremost, this is a delay result, and just don't quit. Like, if there's any piece of advice that I can give you, is don't wing it either. But I think that this has something to do with it as well, is how do you become authentic on social media? Because maybe you are doing all the things right, but maybe you're not likable. And I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm not saying you're a terrible person. I'm not saying that this or that, but sometimes we only share such a glimpse of our life that no one else can connect with us. Or maybe the opposite, we're trying so hard to connect with so many different people that our voice is completely lost. Does that make sense when I say that, of finding authenticity but being likable on social media? Not people pleasing, not right, like not trying to fit into whatever mold people want to put you into. That's not what I mean. I don't mean by being fake when I say likable, but likable to your kind of tribe. So maybe you're doing everything on your tracker, and these are what I want to talk to you about. I'm going to give you some tips, but real fast is there's a difference between relatable versus real. And Brittany Frost and I were having a conversation about this. Kim Meyer and I were having a conversation about this, is that sometimes when we're too raw and too real, that becomes standoffish without being relatable. So when I share something hard, something exciting, like if I was just like, I paid off $600,000 of debt, like that's not very relatable to people. Like, do you know what I'm saying? But when I can just talk about how the process to get there, the fear of having a limitation on money and the hustle that it took, and the work ethic that I had, and my journey as a page, I've not paid off $600,000 of debt, by the way, is I didn't know someone like me could do something like that. Like that's how you become a little bit more relatable than just sharing what's real, right? Or like this glimpse or whatever, and people are kind of like, I don't even understand what she's saying. We have to inspire through the mess with the message. Sometimes our life is just way too hard and we're always the underdog. Life is always a struggle, but we're showing up today. I gave myself a pep talk. I'm saying some kind of motivational thing. You guys, sometimes when we're coming from that place, people don't want to relate to that. They want to relate to a little bit more optimism with solution-oriented thinking, not just like a pep talk. Like there's just a way to do this to make it real, but then also help you move past that life is always a struggle. Because who are you going to attract in your tribe if you're always talking about your struggles or how you're coming back or how like life is difficult, but here I am showing up? What kind of people are going to come into your life? People that are going to feel that exact same way, who are probably going to be victims. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying that they don't have the mindset or the vision that you have, and it's going to weigh you down, and you're going to feel a little bit more frustrated. Life doesn't always have to be a mess, even when it's hard. Top coaches are colorful. Trina said that to me. Top coaches are colorful, and I'm going to explain what I mean by that. Are you a complainer, and are you gray? Are you bland? If you are a downer in life, people will not want to work with you, even if you spin it a little bit positive. But if your message is this constant complaining or this constant life is hard, constant this, people aren't going to relate to that. So what I want to do is work through this list of 12 things that I'm so excited to share with you on how to become likable on social media, on how to become relatable on social media. Because I feel like with my story, the way that I share my personality, the way that I share my life, is that people are feeling inspired, that they want to take action. They feel like I'm their best friend. They feel like that they know so much about me, that I wear mismatched socks, that I don't wear shoes when I work out, that Wyatt is pretty much my best friend. They know this, and that, like about me. It's like they are my tribe. They so get me. So what we want to do is we want to create fans, not just followers. And I actually heard a call, and I got a lot of inspiration from that call with this. So number one, you are the main subject. Some of your posts are your kids. Some of your posts are your pets. And at the end of the day, it's mostly you. I think sometimes people hide behind the kids, hide behind the relationship, hide behind this because there's this fear of it being me. And I'm going to tackle that in a minute. But you are the main subject. Number 2 is have an opinion. Now, having an opinion, it doesn't have to be a political opinion. That's not what I mean, but you stand for something. For me, I stand to be a Christian. Like that's like so much of my life, right? Maybe the opinion is that I think the Packers are the greatest football team ever. Maybe that's my opinion. Maybe my opinion is a little bit more real and honest. That is something going on in the news. Maybe it has to do with women's rights or things like that. But have an opinion on your social media in your life. Number 3 is evoke conversation. And these are all different ways of creating a message. A lot of times people are just posting their workouts before and afters or a food recipe. But when you can really just start to share you and share your opinions and evoke a conversation is like, it could be something like, what did you guys think about this? And then having a conversation in the comments with people. Number 4 is ask questions. I think Morgan Schaefer is super good at this. She does a lot of polls on her Facebook. You can do polls on your Instagram, asking questions. So, I mean, it could be like, this dress or this dress. It could be like, what's your favorite shampoo? It could be anything, but ask questions when you are on your social media. Now, the reason I'm saying this and the reason I'm working through this list is because you are going to create more interaction and connections with people than just sharing something and just telling someone something. Instead, you're inviting people in to your life with this. And these are things that I do. Own your truth. Own your truth. A big thing that you'll hear me say is like, I work hard. I don't hide behind the fact that this takes work. I think a lot of times people want to water that down because they just hope someone will join them. But when I think about it, when I was a teacher, I was a really hard worker. I just poured everything into everything else and not myself. Can you relate to that? Like, I poured myself into my work. I made sure I was the greatest teacher. I went above and beyond, but I was exhausted. I was burnt out. I was tired. But I own my truth. Like, this takes work. This takes grit. I want to work with people who don't mind working hard. I've owned my truth about being jealous, being a natural jealous person. I've owned my truth about times that I've compared myself to people. I've owned my truth before if I've missed a goal, if I've fallen off track, if I've been feeling in a funk. I love it when you guys talk about that kind of stuff because that's the real. I like just even thinking about, I remember a post that I made, it was after the Success Club trip last year, and it was of my butt and of like how, like where it's like I have dip hips, and I just remember I made a story about it of like, this is how I feel about this. I own that truth, and that post connected me with so many people, but it was really like how I felt. It was honest. Number 6 is let people into your world and your personality. Something that I've been doing, if you've been noticing on social media, Eric and I have like a lot of funny interactions, and I just like don't realize it, or it's just, you know, my day to day. It's not something that I think to share, but lately I have been. Like, there was one I shared today where I was like, hey, Eric, do you think I'm still toned? And he's like, yeah, you look sexy. And I just rolled my eyes at him. Like, you had to say that. Like I set you up for failure on that one. But I shared that, like, where it's like, Eric, me, Eric, like I'm sharing these conversations. I'm bringing people into my world. I'm showing people how we interact, like my kind of humor. I'm a dry humor type of person. I think I'm super funny and I'm not, but I laugh at everything, right? Number 7, I think this one gets skipped a lot, is add value. How are you serving your tribe? Add value to them. So what do I mean by that is like, what can you give them? I think Brittany Frost does a really great job of this, is that she sends recipes to people. She sends them something that she's thinking of them. So how can you add value to people? Your tribe specifically. Maybe it's your top 5 tips of self-care. How can you add value where it's not just, hey, join me, join me, join me. I have this, like you come over this way. But like, what can you give throughout your stories, throughout your social media, throughout working this business that you're not always looking for something in return? And I think when you can go to that kind of mindset, like you're giving recipes away, I think something switches in there for you. And that's for me too, where it's like, who can I serve today? How can I show up for my tribe today? If I don't show up today, someone misses out. How can I add value? That can be in a personalized message. But how can I add value? Maybe I think a way I add value in a simple way is that I send voice messages to people. Or I check in with them and not just invite them. Like, hey, how did your surgery go last week? Adding value because I care, right? Number 8, who is the old you? Oh, speak to her. Speak to him. Who is the old you? How did you think? What did you do? How did you live? What were your thoughts consumed of? What mattered to you? What was a priority to you? I was obsessed with insecure people. I was obsessed so much with like reading People magazine. There's nothing wrong doing that time to time, but I shouldn't be more obsessed with other people's lives in the sense of like living through them. Does that make sense? I should be obsessed with just like building other people up and creating a community. The old me felt rushed, overwhelmed, and anxious. The old me hated fitness. The old me knew I was made for more. The old me worked really hard. Number 9, what do you struggle with? Do you struggle with the cellulite on the back of your legs? Do you struggle with wearing shorts? Do you struggle with worrying about the future? Do you struggle with having no idea what's next in life? Are you struggling with pregnancy? It's not a cakewalk. Are you struggling with having a middle school daughter? Are you struggling with ... What are you struggling with? Number 10 is, what is your biggest excuse? Like, what's it, like, we all still have them, right? What's your biggest excuse? But how will you overcome it? Could you imagine sharing your big excuse today? We talk about our old excuses, but what about your current ones that you kind of slide under the rug? Like, you don't really talk about because you know you'll work through it anyway. It is going to make you so relatable. Maybe your biggest excuse is like, I don't have time today. Like, that's really maybe what you've said today. And then we laugh because it's like a 20-minute workout, right? But we've all been there. Like, I've done that. We're like, oh, I don't have that much time. I'm just going to eat this instead, right? What's your biggest excuse and how will you overcome it? Number 11 is, what are you hopeful about? And again, this is all social media content. This is all story content to make you likable, to make you relatable. So you stand out. So you are different. What are you hopeful for? We have 8 ladies, 9 including myself, going to the Success Club cruise in March. Brittany Frost is coming as well. And when I first started coaching, I remember Sarah Morrison went to Mexico, and I looked at that, and that gave me hope that if she could do that, I could do that too. So instead of being jealous or like, oh, that scares me to sign up for that, you guys, it's like, we're so pumped full of fear. Can we just not? When we just take action. So I decided I'm going to sign up for the next trip, which was a cruise when I first went. And I was like, I'll be damned. I'm going to hit Success Club every month because I'm going to get that paid for. What are you hopeful about? When I see some of my teammates experiencing this freedom, it just gives me the hope that I can do it too. What are you hopeful about? Number 12, how did you win today? Me, I got up, I had energized, I got my workout done. Like, I felt so good. I felt like the old me, besides all the breaks I took and the heavy breathing and the really weird, like, whatever's going on with my body. You know what I'm saying? But otherwise, I like felt pretty unstoppable. That was a big win for me today. I felt so good today. You have to have a win today. Maybe it's jumping on this call, connection of positivity, right? How many of us like maybe experience kind of people who drag us down, and it's hard because you work with them. So this is your positive outlook, right? So that's maybe your win is like, man, I'm exhausted, but I knew I had to make this call tonight. And I'm so glad that I did. I hope that's what you say. So those are the 12 things. I can go through them again if you didn't get all of them, but share your struggles, but spin it to win it. Share your struggles, but spin it to win it. And we don't use social media the way everyone else uses social media. We don't use it to vent. We don't use it to rant. But what you'll see across the board is people doing that because they use social media for different things. You get to use social media as your storefront and your way of connection, your way of building your business, the way you get to connect with other people, the way that you get to stand out and be inspiring. I think that's how I stand out on social media, is that people look at it as this way to like complain, and I look at it as how can I make someone's day? So how can you stand out is you share your struggles because you want to connect with people, but spin it to win it. I don't stay stuck. I don't stay in funks. I'm fearful of what's to come, but I would rather have fear and take action than take no action at all. I think about when I had a miscarriage, I say this all the time, is I remember being like, okay, you're going to be in pain. Either way, if you do nothing, you're going to be in pain. Or if you do self-care, it's still going to suck, but what's going to help you in the future eventually? And I chose the self-care route. It was hard. It didn't feel good. I didn't want to get my workout done. I didn't want to be in personal development because I wanted to crawl into a hole and just lie there. But instead, I just felt it. I just did it. I worked through it and I made it. It's a part of my story. It's connected me with so many people. And then my tip to you is stop trying to connect with everyone. And maybe if you are finding yourself not bringing people in, not helping them, it's because your message is so to everyone and it wasn't through these 12 things. Sometimes we want to be a people pleaser or just like hold on and like try to get everybody. And what I have found is the more narrowed I've gotten with my niche, the more I thrive. I was an overworked, burnt out, paycheck to paycheck teacher. I was exhausted and I struggled with anxiety and I was made for more. How many teachers are on this call right now? But the cool part is I've sponsored nurses. I've sponsored other people that aren't teachers, but I connect to the teacher life. And that, going that narrow, the busy person, the busy woman, the one who doesn't have a lot of time, couch dweller. How many of you love binge watching TV? Like, right? I'm still a couch dweller and I'm like, what's going to help my business forward? It's like a mindset thing. I have to be like, nope, I'm going to jump on a call. I'm going to do this. Like, I love laying on the couch. It's like one of my favorite things, but that won't build my business. So this is what I choose to do instead. Sacrifice, right? So here are some ideas for good posts and captions. Number 1, short and sweet one-liners. So here's an example, is diamonds were a girl's best friend, and then yoga pants happened. That's like a one-liner you can make in a post. That one's funny, right? I laughed at that one. Short and sweet one-liners with your picture, and you show your humor. There's like a meme I put, and you can go look up memes and then just caption it and put your picture, have your picture, and then just have your caption as the meme. And don't put the words all over the picture. Like, let the picture just be you. But there was one where it's like something about the taco truck being around the corner. Like, oh, like, you know, like I should be doing this, but tacos. Like, that's funny. Like, you can do those one-liners. You can just go to Pinterest or Google and type in funny memes, funny one-liner. If you guys are funny. Like, if you like that kind of humor, that's me. But maybe you're more like serious or however you are. Maybe you really love Target. I'm not a huge, like Brittany Frost like thinks there's a scent to Target. Like when you walk in, it's like they keep you there and they make you buy a lot of things there. Like I can like roam around Target and be fine. So she would be more of a Target person. Mine probably gonna have to do with food. Like something along those lines. Number 2, negative wording. This is interesting. I never thought I would feel comfortable in high-waisted jeans. The negative wording, like I never thought I could feel this good. I never imagined what life could be like being 35 pounds lighter. I had a hard time thinking beyond paycheck to paycheck. So that's how you start your post off, is with negative wording. Number 3, for good posts and captions, is ask a question. Have you ever felt like you've had no control over your life? Do you feel like you're afraid to get started because you think you'll just quit again? That was me. Like my number 1 issue was follow through, for sure. So I'm going to connect to the person who feels like they won't follow through. Your question doesn't have to be serious. Your question doesn't have to be about a struggle or anything like that. Your question can be one that just connects you with your tribe. That's specific to you. That's not so generic, right? For me, a question that I've put in my polls is like, is it normal to have headaches at 15 weeks pregnant? And then I had a lot of people message me about it. So like, it could be something like that as well. Is it normal to have this? Like, that's been something I've been really asking. Instead of like going to go, I'm pretty resourceful. And I like kind of just go seek the answer out myself. That's the type of person I am. But at the same time, I've got to ask questions that are in my season. Like new moms, man, moms love giving opinions. Teachers, ask questions about like what's your favorite thing you do in your classroom? Like what is a team building thing that has really changed the culture of your classroom, right? So you can ask questions based on your season, where you're at. Wedding planning, perfect questions to ask. Cake or cupcakes? Cupcakes and cake, duh. Like this is an easy answer. Like you go with both. Like I've got you, girl. Don't worry. I'm just playing. Number 4, use emotional power words. I was destroying my body until I discovered my secret. Like that word destroy, like destroying. I was destroying my body until I discovered my secret. Use emotional power words. I think that's a big thing in general, is just connecting with people emotionally. Getting to them to feel a certain way. Like I was devastated when I looked through our family photos, and I was too embarrassed to want to send them out on our Christmas card. Or I was so heartbroken, when I saw ... I was so disgusted when I put on a swimsuit in the dressing room. Like, what happened? Do you see like the emotion is that like triggering you guys into a certain story in your life? Like, I think about, there's like 2 moments. I remember going into a dressing room and just hating it and blaming the lights were bad. And I was the type of person that hated fitting rooms. So I would just buy my clothes and try them on at home. Like, that was my life pre Beachbody. And then I remember last year about to go on the Success Club trip, and I was shaking my ass in the dressing room, so pumped up on how far I've come. Like, I was literally like, this is awesome. Like, I'm in a swimsuit and I'm not hating myself. I remember what that was like. Do you be like, have you ever looked in the mirror and hated the way you looked? Like, that is using an emotional power word or a negative word, right? A negative wording. Man. Have you ever scrolled on social media and just think, what the heck am I doing with my life? Right? Like, haven't we all been there? Like, when we're seeing this highlight reel of like, and that's what separates you. That's what makes you so different. It's because you're not just sharing a highlight reel, you're sharing the real. You're sharing, like, people aren't willing to share their struggles. People aren't willing to share their befores because they're so freaking embarrassed on how they let themselves go. Where I'm like, no, like, if you're willing to do something about it now, that is more inspiring than what you looked like before. Because, sister, you're a warrior. Like, you are doing something with yourself. And maybe you're not where you want to be and look how you want to look, but can we just trust that fitness and nutrition in this community does more to our mind and our heart than it does to our bodies? And that's the shift. That's how we look different. That's how we stand out. But we use this emphasis of emotion and this like realness that isn't raw to the point where people are like unrelatable. We do it to a point of like, Julianne, I feel like you just spoke what I was just thinking. I've had that happen so many times to me, where someone will just come and be like, I literally experienced that. Like, I could have wrote that. And I'm like, we just connected. They get me. That's my tribe. That's how I've done this. Number 5 is talk in numbers. 21 days ago, I was not the same girl. I think of Mary. She finished the 21-day fix. Like, 21 days ago, like, that wasn't a thing. And she did post about that, which is so awesome. Maybe for you guys, it's, maybe mine is like, it's been 7 days since I did a workout. Like, you guys have done 2 in a row right now. So like, I'm feeling pretty good. Yesterday might've been in half of 20 minutes, but like, it's okay. We're working on it. Like, we're going to move through this. We're going to get better, but use numbers. 5 years ago, ... And then this is a big thing. This isn't a number. This isn't for a post or a caption. This is just a side note. This is, don't sell Beachbody. Sell your lifestyle. Sell you. Talk about you. That's how you're going to be so different. And when you sell your lifestyle, that's what makes this doable. Our products are awesome and they work just as much as a gym works. But when you realize and help people, connect people to the tools that changed your lifestyle. Because again, we're more than this physical space, our physical bodies. Like, there is a transformation of the heart. There's a transformation of the mind and the soul that is happening on this journey. And that's not from Beachbody. That's from the work you put in and day out. That is from the people you start to surround yourself with. Because what I love about this community is that we're big thinkers. We're not small thinkers. We cheer people on. Do you know how rare that is in life? We cheer each other on in our successes. We weep with each other in our losses. We encourage each other to keep on going, and we encourage each other to speak our truth. We show up. And because we show up, someone else shows up. And I just think about the impact that has. That's not Beachbody. That's you. but you have some incredible tools that are going to be the perfect plan for someone to get started because they're playing the guessing game. They don't know what to do. They're winging it. They don't have a lot of time. So the tools that you have to offer them are going to help them, but the thing that's going to transform them is you. Your story, your journey, the way you show up, the way you prosper, the way you become resilient, the way you seek solutions, the way you talk so highly of people. I always say gossip isn't bad when you're talking great and highly of other people. In fact, I love that. I love when I'm hanging out with other people and they talk so highly of someone when they're not there. Leia, I can't even tell you all the times Brittany's done that. Where it's like, it makes me love you so much more. You're not even there, and she just talks so highly of you. Like, keep on gossiping about her, sister, because this is awesome. Give me more, right? That's the impact. Then we worry about the judgment of other people. How many of you have been there? We put out our story. Julianne, you're telling us all this wonderful stuff, but do you know the people in my life? Do you know like what they say? Present you cares, but the future one shouldn't. The present one cares, but the future you, the six-figure earner you, couldn't care a single word about what someone has to say because you've built a lifestyle of freedom. Think with her. The person who mocks you because you are wearing a sports bra and you have your shirt off and they think that you look fat, they think that you don't look to society standards of what beautiful is. First of all, F that. Second of all, the future you knows exactly why you're showing up. You're showing up for health. You're showing up for energy. You're showing up for confidence. You're showing up for someone else who needs your inspiration. Think with that. The present us cares so much. We get so defeated so fast. We have one foot in, one foot out. We make excuses. Let's not think like that. Let's not think with our present circumstances. Let's not think with our present worries. What if we just start thinking about our future one? And that's the way I've done this. Is I'm not there yet, but I'll get there. And that's why I'm going to show up every day. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to work through it. Not every workout is a cakewalk, but I'm going to get there because I'm thinking of the future Julianne. Life maybe is really good for some of you right now. But don't you think at one point crisis might hit? Not to pump you full of worry. That's not what I'm doing, but I'm speaking truth of what life is. It's a freaking roller coaster. Life could be so good right now. I just think of Lauren Lundberg's testimony. That's just who I think of. Where she built this thing, and then when crisis hit in her life, she didn't have to think twice on her decision to stay home and leave teaching. Did she know that was going to happen? No. But aren't you thinking like she was freaking glad she built this thing so she had the choice? That's how I think. I always think of my future self of like, life might be really good right now. But I want to have more choices. I want to be able to be less stressed about a financial decision. Even if life's good, even if I'm healthy. That is what I have. And I hope this spoke to you because I'm just telling you, to be likable on social media isn't to be liked by everybody. To be likable on social media is that you like yourself enough to share yourself. The real you, not hiding behind a workout always, not hiding behind self-care and this like everything is got it done today, like whatever. But it's just sharing your opinions, sharing your truth, sharing what matters to you, sharing what your own excuses are, your own fears, your own worries, but how you're going to overcome it. You're talking about how you won the day, even if it was a really hard day. You're asking questions, you're evoking conversation, you're having an opinion because strong people have opinions. But at the end of the day, people, not points. You can still have your opinions and still love people massively. but you're not here to please people, because the present us sometimes wants to. And then we play small. Then we play little. We hide behind our children, and we hide behind our schedules. We hide behind our excuses, and we forget that we're unstoppable. And we forget that if we just think big for a second, maybe I could do it too. And I want you to trust that. And the only way that this works, first of all, it's limitless. What you can do with this is limitless. It's amazing to me. The potential is there for everybody. It's not this person of this gender and this ethnicity, of this state, of this age. That's not how this works. This doesn't segregate. This doesn't discriminate. The way that this lifestyle is built is how you decide to go for it, even when it's hard, even when you're doubting, even when you're seeing no movement. You just trust that you will, because you're thinking of the future. You all are wonderful, and I love you so greatly. Does anyone have any questions? Need me to repeat anything? Is this what you needed to hear today? Feedback in the comments. I love seeing the comments blow up. You are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. This was amazing. Yay. I got the inspiration from a call too, so I should share it with you guys. So many gut checks. Loved it. Thank you. I'm so glad. I think that this business is one of gut checks. Trina, my mentor, and I were talking about, and we were in a message, so Kim was there too, is about egos. I think coaches that have egos that aren't coachable aren't going to go anywhere. If they think they have it all together, they don't want advice from other people. Man, if you're the kind of coach that's resourceful, trusting the process, being like, I'm struggling, and you're real about it, and then you're just coachable, man, that's where you're gonna be so successful. Instead of just having it all together. Everything's fine. I know what to do. Like, no, like all this stuff where it's like, yeah, like I'm struggling. I'm a little bit worried about this. I feel like my business is falling apart. I'll be like, girl, I felt that all the time. I can relate to you. This is probably why I don't like big groups, is because I don't feel like everyone's being genuine. This is why I love small groups, because I feel like you can go beneath the surface. It's the same thing in coaching. Go beneath the surface. Sometimes I feel like I'm so repetitive in my posting. Oh, we've all been there. I think it's just because, and you know what? And I think that's what makes us look like everybody else, is we can share our story in different ways, but we can't hide behind a certain trend of things, of just always sharing, you know, this, and this of our vital behaviors. But when you share more of your world and you share more of this, people like that. Like, people were laughing so hard at Nevaeh on the bed today. If you guys followed my stories, they'll message me and be like, that's so funny. Or they're just a part of me. Like people notice, like, who's that dog? That's not Wyatt. It's just like they know, and it's because I've been intentional. However, I need you guys to also know there's so much of my life that I don't share on social media. Like, if you come over, I won't touch my phone. We'll hang. Like, there's going to be, like, we're going to do stuff and have our own memories that no one else is going to know about. But I share enough that people are like, I know her. I know her. I feel like you're my best friend. Relatable versus real, the balance. Yes. Any last closing thoughts or questions before we get off tonight? What was the takeaway that you had today? What was one specific thing that hit you hard with a gut check? I love that you all are like taking notes. I think that is like my favorite thing, probably because the teacher in me is like, yes! Present you cares, but the future one shouldn't. Yep. Think of the future six-figure earner. Think of the future you've built your team and people doubted you and said you shouldn't do this. That's kind of how I thought. I was like, oh, you don't know my heart. You don't know what's about to happen. What is your biggest excuse today? And handle it. Yes, and be real about it. Liz, what's up, my girl? Mine was just having variety of posts. Yeah, we talked about that. So that's so good. I need to refer back. Yep. Stop trying to connect with everybody. Yes, that is a common thing. Samantha's takeaway, first of all, I love that you guys are always together for the team call, was being authentic. I love that. Emotional power words. Good. Current me cares. Future me won't. Yes, Allie. Life doesn't always have to be a mess, even when it's hard. True. Share what you're currently using as an excuse. That's what's up, girl. Now, this is the trend. We get so stoked about, Brittany, was it you who told me that people are going to remember, only like 10 people are going to remember this tomorrow? What'd you say to me? Where are you at?
Yes, but you're butchering the stat. An hour from now, you guys, you're only going to remember, you're going to lose 30% of everything she just taught you an hour from now. 24 hours, you will lose over half of it. So having notes is so important because you can go back and remember the things that you will forget inevitably. It's science. It's math.
And I was thinking about this too, like every time Trina talks, like on a call, I'll be like, Trina, you said this. Trina, you said this. And she's always like, how do you remember this? Like I'll like refer stuff to like 5 years ago that she said. It's because I write everything down and I go back through my notes and I apply it to my life. Like it's like, because like I'm a one-line kind of person, a one-liner. I was really good at pickup lines. You guys, when I was younger, I'm so serious. Like Ask Eric, he dared me in a bar when we were friends, and I was like, I have the best pickup. Do you guys want to hear this? I have the best pickup line in the world. It will work on anyone. He's like, okay. We weren't dating at the time. And I went and did it, and it totally worked. You probably want to know what it is. I see that's something I could share on social media. It's like, I'm awesome at pickup lines. Like, see, now you want to know. You want to know what it is, hey, you seem nice. And they go, I am. And you're like, great, let's hang out. It worked. I don't know why. It's really not that funny. I think I'm so funny. Anyway, okay, it's over. Take notes. Apply this to your life. And then what I would do is maybe what you do is you go through your list and you're like, what do I have an opinion about? And not to the opinion where you become a hater. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not about to go have an opinion that like bashes people and makes them feel unloved. Like that is there's a difference. Like hate, like people can be very hateful because they think that they're right. What I'm saying an opinion is like, this is what I prefer, but like it's coming from a place of love. Like that one kind of makes me nervous because I don't want you to be so black and white with it. Because I think people can be so opinionated where it's like, they're not nice. Like they're not a nice person. And that like, so let's not go that route. But maybe you write down all the questions. Maybe you go on social media and be like, what are kind of questions that are like, what kind of questions do I have in life in my season? That I would, like me, it was the hair. I got this new product and it's awesome. It's because I asked a question. Maybe be like, what are my truths? Like, what do I really love? And then you just make a list of them. And then maybe you make a calendar, a month in a spreadsheet and be like, okay, on Monday, I'm going to post about this opinion. And then you have it there. So then you're taking action on these and you're not just being inspired and make one post today about one of these 12. But like, if you use these 12 throughout, then it's going to take time to become likable on social media. It's going to take time for people to come into your world. And because I get complimented on my content all the time, but it's because I've gotten so good at it. Because I just share me. Like, it's not because I'm like amazing. Like I just share my life. But it has to be consistency, you guys. It's not like doing one day of the 21-day fix. It's doing the whole program. And then you're done and then you do another program. Does that make sense? Are you adding value by complimenting them? I love that you ask your tribe for advice instead of just Googling something. Yes, even though I'd want to Google it. And I probably still would Google it. But I still ask where I'm like, oh, I could just ask a question real fast. Like, because then people love giving their opinions. People love sharing advice. Google Docs. I love it. Okay, I'm going to hit on.